Okay, can we start? Council, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, can we go ahead and start while the email goes through?
Judge, can you see, is she ready? Thank you. Does she know how much longer? 5 minutes, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna step away just for a couple seconds, okay?
Okay, so my client's back.
All right, and so am I.
Thank you.
All right, doctor, have
Yes.
we,
Almost. It's quite a bit. I brought the whole medical record. That's what I'm scanning it in. And it's not just my notes. It's the notes from the specialist she saw, like Dr. Santos and Dr. Heidemann. So it's the whole medical records. So we're scanning it to give it to you.
okay, well, Ms. Caballero, if we can go ahead and start and then just wait to see when we get that email, okay?
Okay, I'll do my best, Your Honor.
Okay, let me call the case again. Or let me see. Well, I think I had already called it. Correct, Pat? No? Okay, we're back on the record. We're back on the record in calls number 2020 DCM 3190. We are with the doctor and we are streaming live. Okay, so go ahead, Ms. Caballero.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, doctor, when you bring the child in after 1 week, a 1 week visit, and that's your opportunity to take questions, answer questions regarding diaper changes, feeding, etc. Do you also observe the baby? Do you look at the baby's body?
Yes,
the-
we examine the whole baby from head to toe.
Head to toe.
Doctor, just let me direct you just real quick. Any answer that requires a yes or a no, I'm going to need a yes or a no, not a nod of the head, a shake of the head, or a just because the court reporter is taking every word someone states. So if you can just make sure that you do answer verbally
Yes, sir.
to any question. Thank you.
And what's the point of that, doctor?
Several points are there. One, we want to make sure that the baby is doing well. We look for all type of congenital abnormalities in a baby, so we have to examine from head to toe. We look into make sure the baby is feeding good, baby has bonded good, and there's no rashes, no other things. So the baby has to be examined from head to toe.
Okay, so that's the first visit. Then the second visit is, what was that? Did you say 2 weeks later, or what did you say?
The next scheduled visit is supposed to be at 1 month of age. But I think she came and saw us before that because she was having some issues with the feeding.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about a standard second visit at 1 month.
Yes.
What's the point of that visit?
By then, the baby has established her feeding pattern, baby has established her sleeping pattern, and family usually have established a structure how to take care of the baby. The first week, baby and the family is still adjusting. They're not able to sleep in the night. Parents don't know when to feed the baby. So by a month, everything should be in structure where we know when the baby is supposed to eat, when the baby is peeing, when the baby is poo-pooing, how long the baby is sleeping. Now baby is starting to wake up and look around and is starting to adjust with the environment, the home environment.
Do you look at the baby? Do you look at the baby's body?
Yes.
And is that another head to toe?
It is head to toe, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the next standard visit?
Is at 2 months of age.
2 months. And what does that visit entail?
Again, it is going over the concerns of the parent. If they have any question, any concern about feeding, about peeing, poo-pooing, a baby crying, baby not crying. So basically going over the questions and concerns about a parent. Then we do a developmental scanning on a baby. If the baby is starting to wake up, if the baby is starting to babble, if the baby is doing eye contact, how good is the suck, how often the baby is feeding. So basically the development and nutritional evaluation of the baby, which is followed by a full physical examination from head to toe. Then we do the immunizations. At 2 months, babies are required to get their immunizations. And then we go over the anticipatory guidance, what we anticipate for a baby to be doing, how we can make the baby to interact with the environment. The parents have to talk, hold, read to the baby. So those are the things we go over.
Okay, so when you say you do a developmental scanning, is that you're observing the child, or do you actually put them in a machine, or what do you do?
No, we are observing as well as we are questioning the parents.
Okay.
If the baby has been waking up more, if the baby is starting to track the mom, when they do a tummy time, if the baby is able to pick the head up, push on the arms. So a lot goes with history and then, yes, observation during the examination.
So when you do this 2 month visit, how do you touch the baby? What are you doing with the baby as the physician?
Well, we we examine the baby usually on the table. And in my clinic, I don't undress them completely. I try to dress and undress because when babies get cold, they get very unhappy. So I usually try to wrap them in a little blanket when I'm examining them. But yes, it's again head to toe. We touch every part. We touch the fontanelle, we feel the head, we check the neck, suppleness of the baby. We listen to the heart, listen to the chest, feel the belly by the touch, check onto the hips, feel the skin and everything. Touch at the back
And then what's the next visit?
at 4 months of age.
All right, and when would that have been for Kiara?
It should be at 4 months of age. I gave my papers to my husband, so he's been scanning it. I don't have the dates with me or any paper right now.
Thank you.
That was on June the 15th.
Okay.
So it was June 13th that she turned.
So assuming, for example, she would have turned 4 months on June the 13th. In this case, it would have been in mid-June. We're not holding you to that exact,
Right.
just to get our bearings. What does that visit entail? The 4 month visit.
June 13, you're saying the 4 month checkup?
Yeah, the 4 month checkup. What
The
is that?
4 month checkup again is the same thing. We're looking for any concerns from the parent, any questions they have. So we review those. And then again, we talk about nutritional and development of the baby.
Is that a head to toe?
It is a head to toe.
And you're touching the baby
I am touching the baby, every part of the baby.
and moving the baby and probing the baby.
Mhm.
And
Yes, sir.
when you are touching and probing, what are you looking for?
Well, it's just basically we feel the fontanelles. The fontanelle, if they're sunken, shows a sign of dehydration. If the fontanelle is bulging, we always worry about infections. So it's part of our examination to feel the fontanelle, feel the scalp, listen to the chest, listen to the heart, feel the belly for any masses or any enlargement of the organs. I usually have a habit of touching the baby's skin to make sure there's no roughness because eczema is a very common condition in babies and sometimes they're just rough. So we feel the skin and yes, it is part of the examination to check the hip click, to check for any dysplasia of the hip. So we do move the hips. And I always, because babies by then is doing tummy time, so I always put the baby on the tummy to check their spine and the back.
Okay. And now let's leave those standard visits to the side. In this particular case, there were more than those involved, correct?
At 4 months checkup on, I think the June 13, we were not aware of anything. My examination was documented as normal.
I think my question was vague. You said that there were other visits in between these 4 visits in your office
Right.
because there were other issues regarding feeding, for example, right?
Yeah, there was, I think, 2 visits for the feeding.
And what does that mean? What happened?
She was breastfeeding the baby and the baby has been fussy with the feeding. And then there was a couple of times the blood was positive in the stool.
What does that mean?
That means the baby can be allergic to the milk. And we figured out that the baby can be allergic to the dairy. And because this baby is exclusively breastfed, it definitely was in the formula. So we restricted the mom diet to restrict the dairy because when moms take the dairy, it can get secreted into the breast milk. And in sensitive babies can affect their the gastrointestinal area and they can start having some blood in the stool.
Okay. Is this condition, I guess, allergic to dairy in babies that are exclusively breastfed? Is this common?
I won't say very, very common, but common enough that I have seen multiple babies with this.
Okay. So my client comes in concerned, you all spot the problem, and she goes off dairy, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Now, was there, when you go off dairy, when a baby misses dairy from its diet, does it become vitamin D deficient? Can the baby become vitamin D deficient?
Even if the moms don't go to the dairy free, breast milk has been documented to have less vitamin D. Even if mama take mega doses of vitamin D, breast milk is insufficient in vitamin D, and those babies are usually put on vitamin D drops.
Okay. In this case, did the vitamin D drops, were they prescribed later on?
Yes,
When?
I think it was the 4 months. Usually we do it between 2 to 3 months of age. So if it's not done at 2 months, definitely it's given at 4 months.
Okay. So at the 4-month visit, meaning mid-June,
Mhm,
prescribe the vitamin D drops.
right.
Okay. And was there another visit? Oh, when the baby was exhibiting blood in the stool, did you refer the child to another physician?
Yes,
And who was that?
he's the pediatric gastroenterologist,
And the name?
Dr. Santos, Luis Santos.
And some of the records that we're waiting for are records from his office that have been sent to you.
I have the copies of those. So if you get my medical records, his notes and the endoscopic findings are there in my
Okay.
medical record.
Okay, so based on your memory of your medical records, there was an endoscopy.
Right.
What does that entail?
Well, endoscopy is to make sure that they go in and try to look for where the inflammation can be, where it is coming from.
Go in where?
They go through, they put the camera through the anal area and go in and look inside.
Okay, so this is a rectal exam.
Mhm.
Is that a yes, doctor?
Yes,
And so you're the pediatrician, you're the regular doctor, and these medical records sent by Dr. Santos, did you ask them or he sent them automatically, or how do they end up in your file?
well, it is because I am the primary care physician for this baby. So whenever I send a patient to specialist, it's a routine that a specialist should send me his progress notes so I know what happened, because I'm the one who's taking care of the baby. So if I don't know what happened with the specialist, I may not be able to provide appropriate care. So it is a standard. When a specialist see a baby, they will send the progress note or all the labs they do to send it back to me as part of my medical record so I can continue to take care of the baby or my patients.
Your patient. And you need to be able to evaluate where to go from there, correct?
Yeah, or how to talk, because specialists usually do the procedure, they tell what it is. Sometimes they don't sit and explain everything. So when the parents come with those questions, I usually sit and explain them more in detail than may or may not be explained at the specialist office.
Would you be derelict in your job if you didn't ask for the specialist records?
I didn't get your question.
Is it the professional thing to do for you to ask for the specialist records?
Yes, I like to know what the specialist is doing on my patients.
You want to know the whole story.
Right.
Okay. And so you saw the records and you came up with a plan of attack and you sat down with my client and explained everything to her.
Well, I think Dr. Santos did it for her already. So it was just part of my medical records. I don't think so she has any concern at that time. I felt like she was answered enough that she never approached me for a full
Okay.
thing about, okay, I'm confused. I don't know what happened. Can you sit and explain me again? I never had that thing.
Okay. Now, was there another visit regarding an extra digit?
Yeah, that was, I think, right after she was born, because she was born with that extra digit. And that was very soon after she was born that she saw the orthopeds.
Okay. And when we say digit, we mean a finger?
It was more of a stub. It was not a full finger, but yes, it was an extra digit, part of the digit.
And what was done regarding that digit?
That digit was removed in office procedure.
Okay. All right. And what are the signs of a fracture?
Now, she did had a fracture. Well, the fracture will be swollen. Yeah, not in that patient. I understand the question.
In
Now,
general?
in general, when somebody break the bone or have a fracture of any part of it, depending on what part of the bone it is fractured, like if it is an ambulatory baby, if they fracture lower extremity, femur, tibia, fibula, the lower extremity, they won't be able to walk. So that is one indication, oh, I can't walk, and then they have to be evaluated. Most of the time, it can be just swelling, pain, or deformity.
Okay. And sometimes bruising?
Can be, yes.
Okay. So bruising, swelling, pain, or deformity?
Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to have the benefit of your records pretty soon here, but we know that we had a visit in mid-June. At any time, if based on your recollection, in the first visit, the 1 week visit, did you see swelling,
No,
bruising,
no,
deformity,
no,
or the baby exhibiting pain?
no,
The second visit, which is the 1 month visit, did you see swelling,
no,
deformity,
no,
bruising,
no,
or did the baby exhibit pain when you were probing her? I'm sorry?
no.
2 months.
Caballero,
Yes, Your Honor?
couple more questions and then we're gonna have to stop for today, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Doctor, 2 month visit. Did you see swelling,
No,
deformity,
no,
bruising,
no,
signs of pain?
no.
June 13th visit, or middle of
It is June 13, yeah.
Did you see swelling,
No,
deformity,
no,
signs of pain,
no,
or bruising?
no.
Is it your position that some babies just don't indicate that they're in pain? Have you seen that?
Yes, babies can have varying degree of tolerance to pain.
And how would you describe this baby, Kiara?
Kiara is a happy baby. She's a very happy and a content, playful baby.
I'm
Okay.
gonna stop you there, Ms. Caballero. Doctor, again, and just reminding everybody, we will pick up on Monday, 10th at 2 o'clock. Now, just a caveat, if I can give you a half hour more, the invite may be coming in for 1:30, okay? Salman-san, shoot me if you have to, but Ms. Caballero. But
Yes, Your Honor.
if I can give you that additional half hour, I will. So if the invite comes in with a 1:30 time period, don't shoot me. I'm just trying to assist the case so I can give you a little more time, okay?
Your Honor, if I may, I believe you have a 4 o'clock with Marlene Gonzalez. And she was telling me that I guess she asked for a continuance. She was unable to reach the court. And she was unable to reach, I guess, opposing counsel. So I'm not sure, maybe that case is going to be continued, and if it is that the impediment to going on further today? Or none of my business and I need to
You know
log on?
what you know what I can do is, a second, maybe I can reach both council on the phone while you all wait here.
Okay,
And just depending on what happens, we may move forward today. Just depends, okay? But we cannot go. I can give you maybe half an hour more. Just there's some stuff with the office, stuff that I need to address. I have to address. Okay,
I
so give me a second, and I'll be right back.
Your Honor, if that's the case, it doesn't look like we're gonna have the records, and my, the rest of my questioning depends on the records.
Okay.
This is
so-
5 minutes, you should get it.
Okay, then we'll wait.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Rahil.
Okay.
So doctor, where are you from in Pakistan? I'm sorry?
I'm from Karachi.
Karachi, okay.
Have you been to Pakistan before?
I haven't. I did spend 6 months in India.
Oh,
but
okay.
I had a very good friend in college from Karachi,
Mm,
and another really good friend from Lahore.
okay,
In fact, he still lives in Lahore.
right.
So I heard all about it, but I never went. I never went.
It's a pretty country.
I imagine.
Mhm.
Lahore sounds beautiful here. So but lots of people, right?
Right.
You mean with
Not
people-
as much as India. India is a bigger country. So if you have been to India, it's half the number.
but India's so much bigger.
Right. Mm-hmm. True.
And were you always in El Paso?
No, I got trained in Corpus Christi. That's where my training was, my residency
Okay, so you
with
went from
Texas
the
A&M.
ocean to the desert.
Mm-hmm. That's what I used to say when I first moved here.
My sister practices law in Corpus Christi.
Oh, really?
She lives a block from the promenade. I'm like, this is
Mhm.
paradise.
Uh-huh. True. It's a very pretty town. Small, but very pretty.
You know, there is something about it. I do find it similar to El Paso in a lot of ways, and that it's kind of run down.
Mhm.
But you know, the water is there, and I find the storms very beautiful.
Oh, really? That's the only time we don't like Corpus is the storm right now.
I love the storms. I love the storms. They're so exciting. The
Mhm.
water is always changing its mood.
It's dangerous.
Yes, it is. I agree.
Mhm.
Well, she does live in a brick building, so that helps.
Is she on the shoreline?
She's not on the shoreline. She's a block off of it.
Okay.
Block off of it. But we
Mhm.
walked many a mile on that shoreline.
Mhm.
And it's strangely very dry in a way, Corpus Christi. I guess that
Really? It's
Well-
very humid.
it's humid, but my goodness, she has a little garden that she has to water all the time because that wind, I think, dries everything out.
Mhm.
It's a strange combination. It's like having oily / dry skin or something. You've got wind.
Mhm. Did you receive the email? Not yet.
Have we received the email? Apparently not yet.
Not yet?
That's what my secretary is saying.
Mhm.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Printed.
Hello? Anji? Okay. किसकी नहीं कर रहे हैं? सबकी? Mhm. No. My husband is saying that you have accepted the email, but there are a couple who are rejecting, so the email has come back.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run to the ladies' room.
कौन सी है?
उसका है लेकिन काउंटी की है वैसे काउंटी भी काउंटी
सारों की नहीं जा रही?
सब चलेंगे
Okay.
हो गया
किसका रिजेक्ट?
ईपी काउंटी का रिजेक्ट में मैं इंडिविजुअली बताऊं क्या
It's a lot. It's taking forever.
Eva, can we print those?
It's downloading.
Very much.
All right. I can give you 20 minutes. That's all I can give you, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
Miss Madrid, are we good?
Judge, why don't we just come back on Monday? Go deal with your office issues.
Pat, can you hear me? All right, there we go. Okay. We're back on the record. Ms. Caballero?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I did receive the email. I do have the records. They've been printed out. I think at this juncture, Judge, I'd rather not be interrupted. And it appears the court has some office issues. So I don't have an objection to just reconvening Monday at 2 o'clock, 1:30 maybe.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't have a problem with our breaking now and reconvening on Monday at 1:30/2.
I can give you 20 minutes right now.
I don't want, I will go forward if the court wants me to, but I don't want to be interrupted because I'm going to be going through the records and it needs to flow for me.
Okay, all right. Just if everyone can please take a look at those records from here to Monday so that we don't have any issues. I didn't see the records. This is kind of, I guess it's a blessing in disguise to where everybody has a chance to review those records. Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry it took longer than I thought. So, all right. Anything else before we adjourn?
No, Your Honor.
I will most likely send the Zoom invite. And Doctor, I'm going to depend on Ms. Caballero's office to forward you that Zoom invite, okay? I will most likely send you that Zoom invite sometime tomorrow morning, okay? So if you don't get it this afternoon, please don't email me and say, I haven't gotten the Zoom invite. Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
No,
Okay,
Judge.
we are adjourned until Monday. Take care. Stay
Thank you,
safe.
Judge.
Thank you. Bye-bye.